every little space. Say, oh, look at this beautiful thing. Isn't it just the most lovely? So it's the little spaces create little resonant forms that of space that allow consciousness to take a particular shape. And the shape of conscious, it's like a little resonating space. So that means that the energy of divine being expresses itself in these little holes. It's a little bit hard to see, but this thing is just full of little holes. Look at all those great little spaces. This is like a little library rock, right? Because every little space holds a particular shape that allows a particular form of consciousness to maintain integrity in that space, in each of these different types of spaces. And so it is with ego that when we position ego at a particular point in creation, then that point has certain types of resonating chambers that allow being to resonate in a specific way that indicate or that provide information that supports our upcoming steps of evolution. The physical, well, that's the reason I brought the basaltic rock, is I wanted to point out that the physical world is full of archives of information. And those archives of information are our resource for establishing the foundation required for next step of evolution. So at the subtle levels of creation, the information exists, but then the dense field of creation provides a structure or a context for that subtle information to reside with integrity, as do our bodies, right? Our bodies have pores and openings, right? So both the upper and the lower chakras are lining up. There was a nice big healing yesterday for the cord of light in the middle, but now we're working the ends of that structure. The energy clearing from the earth chakras, we call them -1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. Those lower chakras that go down below the pelvic floor. So good. This clearing is providing a context for a lot of the energies that we use in the lower chakras of our body, chakras 1, 2, and 3. So as the energy is clearing from the deep earth chakras, for one thing, it's supporting alignment of our physiologies with earth intelligence. That's always the first. It's clearing the ancient earth cycles. They're ancient cycles. There's an ancient 400,000 year, is it 400,000? No, excuse me, 400 million. There's a 400 million year water cycle on Earth that circulates water from inside the mantle and the crust with the water that's on the surface. There's a lot more water in the mantle and the crust than there is on the surface. So the Earth has ways of purifying her water systems. And it's hard when we know that we're polluting the oceans. It's a little difficult to imagine how we're going to right this process, but right this situation. But Earth does have her ways, and the waters that are locked into the stones, just like the water of the ocean holds minerals, so the minerals also hold water, because when they're under heat and pressure, they hold water inside them. It's very beautiful. So download for the water cycle. Download for the water cycle, 400 million years. It feels as if the entire cord of light, now that the upper chakras and the lower chakras are cleared, we did the center yesterday, that it's as if the cosmic waters of our universe are able to flow. They're flowing through our cords of light in a way unrestricted and free as they were not before. And that is part of an even older water cycle that connects us in with the cosmic waters, planets and the dust clouds around nebulas, the dust clouds, there's also water all in these cosmic areas. And there's also an exchange from those waters to the waters of our earth. Okay, I didn't know that. Because minerals can lock water in, there's water in planets that don't seem to have water, like the moon and Mars. Well, Mars has some water. The way the water cycle works is through subduction. And subduction means if there's like land and there's ocean over here, and the plate tectonics, like there's convection inside the earth, right? So that the rocks on the top and the rocks underneath they're kind of churning. And it's the subduction that pulls the waters in to the mantle of the earth. The reason I mention it is this effect that's taking place in the cord of light for everybody in the session is a kind of subduction type of process, which occurs when we settle our minds down to the source of creation. Then it's a kind of like a subduction process, right? Consciousness, which is normally out on the surface, it goes inward and it settles down to the source of creation, and it allows the energetic byproducts, the consciousness byproducts of our being, in the full spectrum, across the full spectrum of ego, of who we think we are, that whole thing, it allows the blessings and the byproducts of that light, which is you, to flow to the source of creation. And as that happens, it completely activates and like tickles, like it nurtures and feeds the field, the cosmic field. And that's a process that's going on. It's part of a very, very big cycle. Very big cycle. Probably makes 500 million years look like a moment. This is the cycle. This is like a universal energy cycle. When the cords of light are aligned and we're aligned with that, the convection can occur. The convection starts to flow. However much we're even consciously aware of it, I think is not, it helps, but it's not necessary.